What's going on, Fight Family? I'm Coach Anthony of More Than Human Fitness, and today I'm going to give you 5 common mistakes that I see people do when they throw their jab. What's going on, Fight Family? I'm Coach Anthony of More Than Human Fitness, and today I'm going to give you 5 mistakes that I see people often make when they're throwing their jab. Before we get into today's video, if you're enjoying the content that I've been pumping out, like and subscribe to the channel. Help the algorithm realize that my stuff is relevant and that more people need to see it. Today I'm going to talk about 5 mistakes that I often see when people throw their jab. First mistake, and that's when they throw their jab, but they're leaning back. This is often because when they throw their jab, you're putting yourself in harm's way. The jab is the fastest punch, but it's also the one that you can counter the best if you time it right. You throw it a lot more, so there's more opportunities to make a mistake and get countered. See, a lot of times during sparring, people will throw their jab, and as they're throwing their jab, they'll get countered, hit in the face, and they'll be too scared to throw anything else. So they'll kind of like throw it back here, like they're waiting to not get hit. Number 2 mistake I see is when they overstep and they throw their jab. They oftentimes overstep their punch and stuff their jab, or maybe they'll understep it and then they're out of position the same. The third most common mistake that I see is don't rotate their wrist. Now, I'm not saying that rotating a wrist is always the best thing to do. Sometimes you'll throw an up jab, sometimes you'll throw a jab to the side. But a lot of times when people throw their jab, I see a lot of people do this, where they're like this, because they're, again, afraid to get hit. So they're thinking about throwing their jab. But when they see the person's punch or the person kind of come toward them, their reflexes are like to try to stop the person. So they're effectively trying to throw a jab and stop at the same time, and it amounts to nothing. The 4th point runs back into the 2nd point, which is undercalculating their distance. The jab is for distance management, it's for stunning, it's for setting up combos, it's for reading. If you're just trying to stun or set up combos, but you don't have an adequate understanding of your distance between you and your target, because you haven't figured out the mentality of the jab for that particular setting, it's going to be a problem. A lot of people, a lot of times what I see is they'll throw their jab once and then try to go right into it. If you have not taken the time to like throw your jab out to feel the distance, feel what feels good when you make contact, like, and you know what good solid contact on the bag feels like. It bounces back, there's no lag, no reverb, and the arm, there's a lag in your step between back and forth. It's perfect. Feels good. You got to get that timing on a person. So you got to throw your jab to understand that distance. For me, you got to throw it a lot, and you got to throw with the purpose of understanding how to gauge your distance. And the 5th and final mistake that I see people do when they throw their jab is they don't throw it enough. People use the jab, they use it fearfully, but they never use it intelligently, at least not starting out. You should be throwing your jab more times than you try to throw your cross or your hook, your uppercuts, any of that. A lot of times what I'll tell my students is I want to see 200 jabs. I only want to see 50 crosses or hooks, uppercuts total. I want to see more jabs than I want to see anything knockout power punching. I want you to get used to that, in and out, touching the body, touching the head, because that'll set up the big punches for everything else. If you like today's video, make sure that you subscribe to the channel, drop a like. If you have a comment or something you want me to talk about in next week's video, drop it in the comment box, and if it's good, I'll make a video about it. I'm Coach Anthony, More Than Human Fitness. Hope to see y'all all again. Y'all have a good night.
This is where you got to push past your limits. If you don't, then your path ends here.